Good morning and salutations. As I'm personally starting to use controllers again, yes, touching the fine plastics of gamepads, I am going to start yakking and jaw-jacking about them on the channel again. As a slightly old man with a slightly degraded brain, I recently took 4 months off of gaming, which after 30-something years of gaming, that is a long time to set down a controller or mouse, but I did a little bit of what the kids say, touching grass. Leaving my house, I picked up a positive hobby, learned that for me, touch grass might also be touch track. But as I personally start to play video games again, I am using controllers again. Mouse and keyboard when I'm at this PC trying to get nitty gritty with some competitive spiciness, I guess you could say. But when I'm chilling in the living room trying to get that casual console experience, surround sound speakers, kicking back with a controller and a beverage of choice, a controller is in hand. I also have an air purifier looking ass pre-built computer that I picked up over a year ago and have yet to review that I treat like a glorified console, as in it's plugged into a controller that can wake the PC, it launches into Steam Big Picture mode, and runs like a console, except that it can play modded PC games and record in OBS and do a bunch of cool PC things. Video on that in the near future. One of the questions that I get frequently is, Kevin, you have a lot of controllers. Which one is the best? There is no one controller fits all due to your budget, feature set, what you're looking for in a controller, and the platform that you're on. PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch. All of those are going to be compatible with PC. And then there's PC-only controllers like the Scuff and Vision, which have their protocol so locked down you can't even use a converter or adapter. So what I'm gonna do in this video, and I hope it's beneficial for everyone watching, is give you my 3 current favorite controllers, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC only. I'm not gonna deliver a Nintendo Switch offering just because that console gets played the least hands down out of all my handhelds, gaming apparatus, VR headsets strapped to my head. Switch gets used the least. If I haven't made a news video covering the Switch 2, I would have made good content, me bashing the pricing. The hardware's expensive, the game's itself pretty expensive. It's finally gonna run graphically somewhat impressive, but that's never been what Nintendo consoles are about. The Donkey Kong looks freaking amazing. Wow, you're sidetracked. Veering back on course with a double downshift and a clutch kick, we are gonna run the intro, and I'm gonna spill out my 3 favorite controllers for you. If you like this video and you're excited that I'm talking about these plastic princesses over shoulder again, make sure you like the video so I know and I keep doing it, because I will about face and I'll leave and never come back.
I swear, you'll never see me again!
Just kidding. In the PlayStation department, I gotta hit you with the Hex Phantom, which started as a Kickstarter campaign with the success of the final launch product being such a good gamepad. It was followed up that being a Hall effect version. There's gonna be a thumbstick module technology video eventually on this channel. It might be a decade down the road, but it will be posted one day. I promise, because I'm the guy that's gonna record and edit it. The Hex Phantom, which I have 2 variants in my hands. This is a potentiometer regular thumbstick module version. This has the Hall effects. Both have been reviewed on the channel, and the full comprehensive reviews will be linked in the description below. I'm gonna go sugarfoot it or tap dance around. I'm just gonna hit you with it. Price to performance, these are phenomenal. The rear buttons are better than what you get with AIM with their kind of clumsy puddle. You are in a puddle of mud with those. Just kidding. They are removable, which is cool for AIM. These suckers, much like Scuff's current offering for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, uses a 2-finger to cover 4 rear button layout, which I am really starting to come around on. I used to be preaching from the high seas. Not that was a bonus. I used to be saying 1 finger for each rear button. It just makes sense. As a default, a secondary, I will take middle finger covering 2 rear buttons. I've kind of come around on that, and I now personally do prefer controllers like this or the Scuff and Vision, where you wedge your middle finger right down the centerpiece and you can just roll up to hit the innards, roll down to hit the lower bits. But I do still enjoy a classic 4 rear button design. It's just not as sexual to me as this is now. What makes the Phantom stand out above the pack, above its competitors? That good rear button design. It does stick out of the rear shell a little bit further than I'd like, which can have some getting used to for sure. But it is super functional. You do have 6 onboard profiles with an LED light indicating which one's which. Real nice rubber grips, which have been used a lot by me and are not breaking apart yet. A a trigger lock system that is right up there with the top three: the DualSense Edge, the Aim Back V3 from AIM, and this, the Hex Phantom. Oh, I just turned my console on. Oh, Deacon St. John's getting chased by a horde right now. This has 8 included thumbstick cap options, which is great. Saves you money on add-ons like KontrolFreeks because you have different heights, different shapes, and they really do differ from each other. You have these wide dishes, which are concaved, grippy, and have a huge surface area. I feel like I have a lot of control with these. Also, when you're at full lock, you do have anti-friction rings, as this is a PlayStation controller. If you got the potentiometer version, it has a stick drift combating feature, that being on the top, you have this little panel where you can adjust with an included tool and get your dead zone back on target. The con or downside of that method is that you're creating a new problem. Logically, as you're moving your thumbstick left and up, down and right are getting less range of motion. You do not run into that problem with the solution for the separate box, a control module that you plug into the top with a USB-C port, and that allows you to fine-tune your modules back on target.
Stay on target. We're too close. Stay on target.
So to sum up, both versions, the potentiometer and the Hall effect, have some way of combating stick drift that does not require you to buy an additional thing, like a replacement module. It has 8 included thumbstick caps, so you do not need to buy KontrolFreeks. One of the best trigger lock systems on the PS5, and one of the best, if not the best, that I've used as of recent, rear button systems, which is the key feature of a Pro controller. The Hex Phantom is it's a beast. It's an absolute beast. I do have a discount code for Hex down there in the description below. That is 5 percentile, I believe. I've had that code for a while. It should be more than that now. I done dang referred a lot of y'all over there to Hex because I've been using their controllers 5-6 years now on Xbox and PlayStation, and they are good.
It's good.
You know what else is good? The next controller that I'm rolling into, which is an Xbox specific controller. The Wolverine V3 is just an absolute, the best compliment I can give for it. The headline, the summary here, it is the best Razer controller ever released. And that's huge considering Razer has pumped out a ton of pads over the years for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, all the way up to the currents. And some of them have been great. Some of them have been not so great. This one took everything that we liked, like the mecha tactile face buttons, which are now quieter, more durable than ever, despite the fact I didn't see a tap life cycle listed on the website anymore. Hey, these are rated for 3 million clicks as they are a mechanical switch like a keyboard, so they should have a tap life cycle, a rating. But if it's a low number, the manufacturer might not want to tout that. That doesn't seem to be the problem with Razer, as I don't see a lot of complaints or issues about the face buttons. You'll see a couple of scattered stories here and there, but not enough for me to bring up as an issue. So mecha tactile buttons throughout, the stupid little marketing gimmick name, but it is mechanical tactile switches. That's not only in the face buttons, but it's in everything. The D-pad, the accessory buttons, and it was following the release of the Ultimate, which is their PS5 controller, which in my opinion was their least impressive price to performance bang for buck controller that I just can't recommend to anybody. It still stinks my brain when I think about it. But now we have the V3 and you can use it on the, I don't know why I'm whispering. I guess because we're about to talk about some naughty stuff here. You can use it to play on the Switch and the PlayStation with the use of converters or adapters. I made a video comparing the most popular converters and adapters on the market, so you can use controllers cross console, cross platform, which is very important. If you're spending $100 on a Pro controller, you kind of want to be able to use that sucker on everything. And with the FGC2 from Brook Accessories, you can use the V3 wirelessly on the PlayStation 5 by sticking the dongle into the back of that, like a long stick of gum looking ass thing. Well, I hope you watch the full comprehensive review, which is linked in the description below. What I think is very exciting about this controller is it finally ditched that clumsy rear button design where you had to extend your rear fingers all the way out here to the back shell. They are now very intuitive, extremely ergonomic, almost flush with the rear shell. Right where you want to rest your fingers, you have a button for each finger. And a Razer feature that I've always enjoyed is going to be these extra bumpers. So right in between the trigs and the bumps, you have these, they don't call them sax buttons, like the extra buttons on the Scuff over here, which is the next controller to be talked about. But you do have 6 additional mappable inputs. Best controller Razer's put out. I turned this shit on again. Deacon's out there just vibrating on his bike, sucking up gas, sucking up ass. Excuse me a second. Last but certainly not least is going to be discussed Scuff Envision, which is in a weird position because it is exclusive to the PC. For a lot of you, that won't matter at all because you only play on the PC. For a lot of the other people, that's the only thing that's going to matter. It's the first thing that's going to be a deal breaker for you because you don't want to spend $180 on a PC-only controller. You might want to take this into the bedroom, play on your Xbox, or the living room to play on your PlayStation 5. I know you have a lot of consoles. This controller will get its own review in the near future because it is kind of my go-to controller that has gotten used and abused off camera as of recent. As you can see, there's a nice layer of my flesh gnarled in these rubber grips, which are more on the side of long-term durability than comfort, meaning they're not very soft and supple. They don't really feel much better than just having hard stippled plastic, but they will last for you in the long run. There he goes. My neighbor's like 45, has to blast rap music every time he enters and leaves the neighborhood. Not really sure why. I used to do that in my 20s, but then I kind of hit my 30s and was like, ah, shit, I guess I'll tweak the knob when I turn into the neighborhood. This controller is going to get its own comprehensive follow-up long-term owner's review in the near future because I have gotten a lot of stick time and on-screen crime with this bad boy. It does have a trigger lock or stop system that looks kind of weird, but works really nice. You finally have a good rear button system on a Scuff controller. What I like most about this controller is going to be, interestingly enough, the sax buttons on the side, which are in a very nice intuitive place. Cosmetically, I think this thing looks gorgeous. Those G buttons at the bottom can be used to switch songs in Spotify, turn on your room lights, start and stop recording, pretty much anything on your PC. But it really does feel like this is a V1, a first iteration, and the Envision 2 should add a ton of features that would make this pretty much the best gamepad out there. Things like a touchpad, to where if you're playing a PlayStation game on PC, since we know Sony's starting to port a lot of their exclusives to PC, I believe the quote from them was 60-70% of their IPs, their library, they'd like ported to PC. I covered that news when it was news. There should be a touchpad here instead of what looks like a touchpad, but is just a soft, supple, rubberized material. This uses potentiometer thumbsticks, which has not been an issue for me, and I've got well over 200 hours of stick time on this controller. But for a lot of people that have a terrible run of luck with stick drift, that's a gosh darn deal breaker. The next version should absolutely have Hall effects or TMRs. There's no gyro motion aiming on board, which again would be nice for the PlayStation PC games. And also, some people I've heard down there in the comment section use that for aiming in shooters. I do on my Steam Deck sometimes. I don't really do it with a controller. I'd rather just use the thumbstick like the good Lord intended. It's a controller. It has a thumbstick on it. Kevin, gyro's the way of the future. You rock your wrist and you get pissed, apparently. I don't know. And if you want to hear the rest of my small gripes or complaints, you're going to have to stay tuned, i.e. subscribe so you catch the long-term owner's review, the Scuff Envision, which has been my actual #1 go-to. I need a controller to play a video game controller as long as I'm on PC, or I still find myself grabbing the DualSense Edge frequently, despite the fact it is a 2 rear button controller. Sony did a good job with their first party offering, which is good. They came more than fashionably late, years later after Microsoft's first party controllers, the Elite. The Edge is a grand controller. The Turtle Beach Stealth, I find myself grabbing less and less. When it came out, it was really impressive for what it did. Now, not so much. The controller market has been evolving rapidly. Pop the Glock switch into repeater mode, and it's been just spitting out controllers on the market faster than one man or woman could review or would even want to if they could. These controllers have got to be somewhat kind of low-key, mid-grade, decent good, considering I've got a pretty robust, substantial controller collection, which I have yet to do a full tour or showcase of. If this video gets biggity boku likes up, I don't know what that equates to in normal people language. If I see that thumbs up bar go sicko mode, I'll do a full tour of my entire controller collection, a little 15 to 30-second blurb for each, how much it cost, where I got it, was it sent for review, is it rare? Because last time I checked, which was a few months ago, I do have a running PDF document that I update my collection with. Last I checked, over 200 rollers, that is no stalkers, that doesn't include the stock controllers that come with your console. Over 200 custom premium and pro controllers valued at over $20,000. I actually increased my homeowner's personal insurance due to what's in this room, and then also recently building the racing sim. I do live in Florida, so if there's a freaking hurricane or some crazy learn how to talk, bro. We get thrown into some kind of natural or national disaster where my pads are in danger. Yeah, I had to make sure I had proper coverage for these puppies. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, do indeed like it with the button that is meant to show me that you did indeed like it. If you did not like the way that I talk, walk, or jived, dislike the shit out of the video. The comment section's down there for comments. I'm gonna stand strong by my no requests for gamepad reviews right now thing, because if you see the post from over a month ago where I announced, hey, I'm no longer reviewing controllers. This is a controller video where I'm talking about controllers that I've already owned, my owner's experience with them. So when I get a ton of requests to review some Chinese pad I've never heard of, like the QuantiPag 35 or anything with SMX in the name, I'm going to respectfully just say, sir, madam, I'm not jumping back into reviewing a bunch of budget pads or anything like that. So don't. Don't do it. As the captain of controllers, the controller captain, a rank that is prestigious, having used and abused more gamepads than probably anybody. It's the internet, so I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, well,
My cousin Jerry actually has 201 gamepads and has been playing on controller for 31 years, not 30.
you get my point. I do have a decent amount of knowledge about controllers. I just have zero interest to jump back into reviewing a bunch of budget pads. Keep in mind, I'm dealing with all these companies that are sending those for review, and the controller space really isn't like the tech or peripheral space in any other gaming accessory, like headsets or keyboards or mice or monitors or racing sim equipment. It's its own beast, and a beast it is. It's its own beast, and I'm not really dicking with that beast of reviewing controllers anymore, but I will make controller videos like this, which I'm sure are beneficial and useful for people, because now you know, hey, that's the guy that has like every controller that's worth a goddamn, and he says that those are his 3 favorite. That might help you make a buying decision. Might not. I don't know. Thank you for watching my video. Drop in the comment section below what you're doing today.